Hi, my name is Jordan, Jordan for short. I'm a perfumer and founder of Celia and Couch, and I'm here today to explain how to start perfume business or how to incorporate perfume into your existing business. I'll be going through 5 scenting services that will help you to do this and explain how and why they're relevant to your goals. And then also, just shameless plug, we offer these services if you're interested. If not, that's cool. This video will still be valuable to you. And let's get started. What are the scenting services that we provide for businesses starting their own line or incorporating perfume into their own products and services? Those are wholesale, white label, private label, drop shipping, and ambient scenting. Wholesale is just selling perfume in bulk based on an existing recipe. White label is similar except for the packaging is bespoke. There's some slight changes that will need to be made, but I'll explain those later on. Private label is essentially doing bespoke perfume in bulk. So you're creating a new recipe, but you're then manufacturing that in bulk. Or you can, no, that's pretty much it. Drop shipping is selling perfume at a wholesale rate, and then you sell it at your retail rate, and then your profit is the difference between. So almost a little bit almost like you're selling stocks. And then ambient scenting is you're creating a perfume for a room, sometimes for a recipe event. Usually these are used at events, venues, even plays. So I've had consultations about that. So there can be really unusual projects, and it's thinking about how the perfume diffuses, making sure everyone's comfortable. And generally those use a different base than the other 4 services I've mentioned. So why might you want to start a perfume business? Why might you want to incorporate perfume into your existing business? And the main answer is money. I'm just going to keep it real. It's a new revenue stream, a high margin revenue stream. Perfume is also connected to the emotional center of the brain, so it can help in terms of customer behavior, either in venue or creating a branded experience. So there's experiential marketing, for example, if you're doing an event. Perfume will help that memory of the event stay in your target audience's mind. It'll become something to talk about as well, just in that it's not something people do every day. So it helps with word of mouth marketing. In terms of branding your existing product line or your existing service line or just your existing company experience, I'll take the music industry as an example. So merch is quite common in the indie and major artist lane, where they'll create, I don't know, perfumes, makeup. So think Rihanna, Fenty Beauty, or is it Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez? Just things around their music that help to create an overall branded experience, as well as bring in some extra cash flow from alternative markets. And just looking at my little list there, that's pretty much it. Except for also, some people might actually be thinking of starting a dedicated perfume brand anyway, but they don't really want to do frankly, the work of launching, developing a product. So they'll outsource. So you'll see this with soap companies, and you'll go from, I don't know, one store to another, and it's like, why do these smell the same? It's because they're getting it from the same supplier. So you can essentially have your own perfume brand just by hiring out someone else's recipe. You can do that on an exclusive basis. We'll get to that later on in the video. But yeah, those are the main reasons someone might want to start a perfume business or incorporate perfume into their existing business. Overall, just it creates a stronger branded experience, it modulates customer behavior, and it brings in extra cash flow and at a high margin product. Okay, so what does the supplier process entail when starting your own perfume business or incorporating scent into an existing business and you're doing it through a third party? I'll take it by service, so wholesale, white label, private label, drop shipping, ambient scenting. Starting with wholesale, essentially order form or buy in line. It's the same process as if you're putting through an order on the perfume shop or whatever, except for you're ordering 50 units instead of 1, 50, 100, 1,000, whatever. You can also do it by order form and invoice. And then once that's done, I basically manufacture in bulk, ship it out through courier, you get your perfumes. They're already compliant, the recipe already exists, everyone's happy. The only thing is it's not exclusive, but I'm a small brand, so it will smell exclusive. With white label, it's the same, except for you have to redo the packaging compliance and re-register the scent, even though it's already compliant under that new name. Packaging will need to be discussed in terms of the design scope, who's doing the packaging design. So, for example, if you'd rather produce it in-house and send it to me, I can put everything together, or I can send you the bottles and you put it together, or I do both the packaging design and the bottle design, put it together and send it to you. And again, order form, invoice, probably more the order form, depending on the scope of the packaging design. Although packaging is waived at certain order volumes, but it can be extra depending on the scope. Private label is essentially the white label process, as well as a bespoke design element to the perfume, because you're making essentially a new perfume and giving it its own branded packaging. There's a longer video explaining that process, but essentially it's the consultation phase, an iteration phase. Consultation phase defines what the perfume is. Iteration phase is actually me making the perfume, sending you different drafts. You say yes, no, we eventually get to an agreement. Then it's a compliance phase where we have to get it sent off for assessment. Once that's approved, there's a fulfillment phase and manufacturing phase where I just make it, ship it to you, you've got it, everyone's happy. And it'll be registered under your own name and you've got complete rights to it. So that's wholesale, white label, private label. Drop shipping is essentially you can either use an API, so everything's streamlined in terms of inventory, or the more crude way is you sign a dropshipping agreement with me, you list my products on your website, sell them, and then you buy it from me at the wholesale price, I don't know, at the end of the week, the month, whatever. And then we do it that way. So either way is good. It's a bit more complicated than that, but that's the gist of it. Ambient scenting is a bit like, a bit like private label, except for there's no packaging. And it's more of an oil-based rather than alcohol-based perfume because you need to diffuse it into the room itself. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what each process entails in a nutshell. So before you start your own perfume line or add fragrance into existing products and services, it's still going to take work and time, less than if you're doing it from scratch, but you'll still need to have an understanding of how this works for your business. So do you have a business plan? Have you done the financials? Because that wastes our time as well. I'm going to keep it real with you. People will come to me with buyer's pack. They don't have a clear budget in mind. They don't understand that they have to not only purchase the products, they have to then market them. Build an audience if the audience is not there already. So that's very important that you plan those things out, that you have a business plan, a marketing plan, and a financial plan, because it will take financial runway to get those scents off the ground. There's a compliance aspect. That's my problem, quite frankly. So I will take care of compliance. It also depends on the region, but that is something to consider as well. Just make sure that whatever supplier you do use is talking to you about compliance. If they're not, run away, especially if they're in the UK where it is legally mandated. In the US, it's not legally mandated, but I'd still advise it just to protect yourself legally, and it helps if you are planning to sell internationally as well. Just that you've done some due diligence already. You'll need to get them approved in each region you need to sell, but make sure you're researching that beforehand. Make sure that your supplier is able to answer those questions. In terms of insurance, make sure that you've got the proper permits, that you've researched the insurance that you need for your business. Are you selling in person, online? It will change. Where are you selling? So do you need insurance by region, for example? Do the suppliers themselves, do they have insurance? Do they understand the insurance that's needed? Can they consult with you about that? If in doubt, talk to your local business services. So in the UK, it'd be like Citizens Advice, or you can hire a lawyer, and then just do your own research online as well and just see what people say. Intellectual property rights, that's the next one. It's hard to protect perfume. It's very easy to make dupes. You don't really have much legal protection there, but you can protect the brand around your perfume. So if you've got a unique logo, if you've got a unique scent delivery service, I believe. So I think there are certain things in terms of how a scent's delivered, you can potentially trademark that. But in terms of the actual perfume itself, unfortunately, it's like fashion where things can look identical, smell identical, but you've got no legal basis to sue. And then also, if you are planning to sue, that takes money, that takes time. things can be appealed. So do you have the financial runway for that? Is it worth it to you and your business? Because even if you are completely in the right in terms of a branding dispute, there's also the public narrative side as well. Will you win the public narrative? Do you have the financial runway, the social capital to do that? That's just unfortunately how it is. And then just in terms of going back to legal, just make sure that you're registering your business. I believe it's like self-assessment in the UK. In the US, I don't know what the right terminology is, but just make sure taxes, all that sort of stuff, that you're doing them. You can reach out to me on the contact details below if you're thinking of starting your own perfume business or plan to incorporate scent into your existing business. You can also support my business by liking and subscribing this video, my channel, and I hope to see you in future videos. Thank you.